Ah, yes, there it is again, that familiar hush. Not silence, no, but something softer, deeper, a quietude that hums beneath the noise of the waking world, a velvet lull draped gently across your shoulders like a kimono woven from clouds and evening air. Good evening, my dear dreamer. It is I, Professor Dozesworth, your ever-faithful companion in these twilight travels. Tonight, we leave behind the familiar, the routine, the restless whirl of modernity, and set our compass toward a land of contrast and harmony, where neon glows like cherry blossoms in the rain and bamboo forests whisper lullabies to the moon. Welcome to Japan. Now then, there's no need to gather your luggage, no need to check the clock or fret about flight times. Your passage has already been arranged, boarded not by plane or train, but by breath. A gentle inhale and a slower exhale. And we are away. Let your eyes grow heavy, let your limbs sink like smooth stones into the futon of night. This is your guided sleep meditation through the wonders of Japan, crafted not just for the curious traveler, but for the weary American soul seeking stillness, for those touched by insomnia, stress, anxiety. May this voyage be your sanctuary. Our journey begins in the air, suspended in dream space, as though our thoughts have taken the Shinkansen, the bullet train of the mind, gliding ever so smoothly toward a peaceful state of rest. Beneath us, the archipelago of Japan stretches long and elegant, like a brushstroke painted by a celestial calligrapher. 4 main islands, Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku, each a unique note in a melodic whole. As we descend, the soft light of dusk cloaks Mount Fuji in lavender haze, the sacred peak, symmetrical, serene, sublime. It rises like a poem from the earth, its snow-capped crown brushing the edge of dreams. No wonder the ancient poets found their muse in its shadow. I remember standing there many moons ago at the edge of Lake Kawaguchi, watching Fuji's reflection ripple gently in the water as though the mountain itself were sighing. Now, let the screen grow dark so your senses may soften and your body ease. From this moment onward, the visuals will fade to black, enhancing your relaxation, improving your sleep efficiency, allowing the mind to paint the pictures gently in your imagination. Close your eyes, dear traveler. Let my words be your lantern through the night. Ah, Kyoto, if Tokyo is Japan's beating heart, bold, bright, electric, then Kyoto is its quiet soul, a city that breathes in centuries and exhales grace. Here the past is not a memory, it is alive. It rustles in the silk of a geisha's step, lingers in the incense smoke curling through temple halls, and hides beneath the moss of 1,000 garden stones. Our journey carries us softly into Kyoto, as though on a drifting petal of sakura blossom. Let us begin at dawn, not the harsh glare of waking, but that gentle unfolding when the light is still shy and the cicadas sing their morning prayers. You find yourself walking along the philosopher's path, a stone-lined trail that meanders beside a gentle canal, framed by cherry trees whose petals fall like slow-motion snow. This path once carried the silent steps of monks and poets, their thoughts drifting like clouds over the eastern mountains. As you stroll, you pass shrines tucked into greenery, small vermilion gates, offerings of rice crackers and paper fortunes, soft bells chiming in the breeze. The city awakens around you, but in this moment, all is still. You are in the rhythm of Kyoto, unhurried, reverent, and oh so very peaceful. Now let us visit one of Kyoto's most sacred treasures, Kinkaku-ji, the Golden Pavilion. Ah, what a sight! A Zen temple kissed with gold leaf, floating atop its mirror-like pond as though it were too sacred to touch the ground. In spring, the azaleas blush at its reflection. In autumn, the maple leaves glow like embers around it. And in winter, my favorite, snow dusts the rooftops, turning the whole scene into a snow globe of tranquility. I remember standing there once, watching a heron glide across the water, its wings barely disturbing the surface, and I thought, this is not just a place, but a state of mind. We move on as gently as mist to Fushimi Inari Taisha, where 10,000 vermilion torii gates wind up the forested mountain like a sacred ribbon. Step by step, you ascend the path, your feet cushioned by fallen leaves and time itself. Each gate a prayer, each step a meditation. The fox spirits Kitsune guard the entrances with sly smiles, said to be messengers of Inari, the god of rice and fortune. In the hush between torii gates, you hear only your breath, and perhaps, just perhaps, the whisper of an old myth stirring through the trees. Speaking of myths, did you know, dear dreamer, that Kyoto is said to be haunted by the Yurei, ghosts with long black hair and mournful eyes? But do not be alarmed. They are not malevolent, only lingering. Remnants of sorrow seeking to be remembered, like echoes in an empty room. Let us light a lantern for them in our minds, a small gesture of peace, for even the restless deserve a little rest tonight. Now, the sun begins to set, and with it, the lanterns bloom in Gion, Kyoto's historic geisha district. We walk through its narrow cobbled alleys, past wooden tea houses glowing amber within. There, a flicker of silk, a faint click of gaita sandals on stone, a geiko, that's what they're called here in Kyoto, moving like poetry between shadows. She vanishes around a corner, leaving only the scent of camellia and the hush of mystery behind her. You sip warm matcha tea beneath a paper lantern, the froth earthy and comforting on your tongue. Nearby a shamisen plays, a tune slow and bittersweet. You feel it in your chest, like a memory from a life you never lived. Yes, Kyoto lingers in the soul like incense. It doesn't demand your attention, it earns it. It teaches you to listen, to wait, to feel. Take a long breath, dear one. Let this ancient city cradle your thoughts. Let the quiet beauty of old Japan anchor you to the present moment. You are not drifting, you are arriving, even in sleep. Now, as your body sinks deeper into stillness, we prepare to journey once more to the glittering pulse of modern Japan. Tokyo awaits. Ah, Tokyo. Even the name seems to hum with energy, a city where the future rushes forward with electric joy, and yet, if you listen, truly listen, you'll hear ancient footsteps echoing beneath the hum of vending machines and subway doors. Tokyo does not sleep, and yet paradoxically it is one of the most comforting places for the sleepless to rest. Insomniacs, night owls, dreamers, all find a place in her neon glow, as our dreamscape carries us softly into this city of contrast. You'll find yourself gently drifting through the Shibuya crossing. But unlike the real world, where 1,000 footsteps move in choreographed chaos, in this space, this sleepy space, the crowd has faded. You stand alone at the center of that famous intersection as the lights blink softly around you like fireflies with purpose. Above you, glowing signs in kanji flicker like stars, casting reflections in puddles that don't quite touch the ground. The world feels both vast and intimate, as if Tokyo were dreaming alongside you. We wander now through Harajuku, where once fashionistas paraded in rainbow wigs and lace gloves. But tonight, all is quiet. The shops are shuttered, the mannequins at rest. Only the faint hum of soft city wind brushes past. There, tucked away behind the noise, stands Meiji Shrine, a pocket of forested stillness in the middle of metropolis. We pass under the towering torii gate, its ancient wood smooth beneath your dream fingers. A path lined with tall trees welcomes us in, the scent of cypress and sacredness mingling in the air. You write a wish upon an ema, a small wooden plaque, and hang it gently among hundreds of others. Wishes for health, peace, love, and sleep, perhaps. Yes, even that. Back into the city we drift toward the winding alleyways of Golden Gai in Shinjuku. Tiny bars, each the size of a closet, line up like glowing matchboxes, each one filled with laughter, music, or quiet conversation. But tonight, they are all closed. The stools are empty. The lights flicker low. You sit outside on a bench of your imagination, a warm bowl of ramen in your hands. The broth is rich and savory, tasting of midnight and memory. Steam curls upward like incense, and you take slow bites as a soft rain begins to fall. Gentle, like fingers combing your hair. From here, the city shifts. The skyscrapers blur into reflections. We board an empty subway car and glide silently beneath Tokyo's skeleton. It feels like the city is breathing, and we are cradled in its exhale. Let us stop now at Asakusa, where old Tokyo still flickers alive in the glow of lanterns. We pass through the great Kaminarimon gate, where the enormous red lantern sways gently in the dream wind. Through Nakamai Street, now silent, lined with closed stalls selling sweet rice crackers, paper fans, and memory itself. There, beyond the gate, rises Sensoji, Tokyo's oldest temple. It stands timeless beneath the moon, a gentle guardian of countless prayers. We remove our shoes, step onto the temple's wooden floorboards worn smooth by centuries of seekers. The incense burner still smolders. You waft the smoke over your shoulders, an old custom said to bring healing and clarity. A monk passes by, his sandals whispering against the wood. He bows, not to you, but to the space around you, acknowledging the spirit of the moment. You bow too. Tokyo, dear traveler, is not just a city of speed and screens. It is also a lullaby, a curious kind of comfort found only in places that never truly sleep. And as you drift further into rest, let us end our time here with the gentle chime of a furin, a Japanese wind bell, its glass body catching the moonlight. The sound is high, delicate, dreamlike, a single note held forever in the mind's breeze. With that, let us board the train of thought once more. Next stop, the snowy wonderlands of Hokkaido, where foxes wander through hot springs and silence is stitched into every flake of falling snow. Ah, Hokkaido, where the snow falls not in flakes, but in feathers, soft, endless, and hushed. A place where the world seems paused under a winter spell, and time itself tucks in early for the night. Here, my dear dreamer, we arrive by thought, not by train, as quiet as moonlight settling upon a frozen branch. The air here is different, sharper, cleaner, but not unkind. It fills your lungs like a lullaby made of frost and pine. Even your thoughts grow softer in this northern calm. We begin in Otaru, a small port town cradled by sea and snow. The streets are lined with old gas lamps that glow amber in the falling dusk, casting long shadows on the glassy surface of the canal. Icicles hang from rooftops like crystal fringe, and gentle jazz drifts from a nearby cafe, its windows steamed over with warmth and memory. You sip from a small cup of hot yuzu tea, its citrus perfume rising in lazy curls, each breath a balm, each moment a sigh. Now we drift further inland to the hot spring town of Noboribetsu, a place of healing steam and murmuring spirits. Beneath the earth, volcanic waters churn and bubble, rising up through the land to form warm baths beneath falling snow. You disrobe in your mind, step gently into the natural onsen, and feel the heat embrace your limbs like a velvet promise. Above, the stars are pinpricks of stillness. Around you, only the sound of steam, wind, and the distant call of an owl. According to legend, this land belongs to the yokai, mischievous spirits who dance between the worlds of man and myth. It is said they emerge from Jigokudani, Hell Valley, a volcanic ravine where sulfur vents hiss like ancient dragons. But tonight, they sleep. Even the spirits grow tired, and the valley exhales its warmth in peace. You feel weightless, not just in body, but in burden. The steam has drawn the heaviness from your bones and left behind only breath and ease. We move on now, as if floating, to the wintry charm of Sapporo, capital of Hokkaido and keeper of snow festivals and quiet joy. The streets are wide, the sky enormous. Snow blankets the rooftops and sculptures rise like frozen myths in Odori Park. Swans with spread wings, temples of ice, even a miniature Mount Fuji glowing from within. Children laugh in the distance, pulling sleds behind them, but even their joy feels hushed, as if the snow itself has taught them how to whisper. We pause for a moment in a quiet izakaya, where the glow of paper lanterns welcomes you in. A bowl of Hokkaido crab miso soup is placed before you, steaming, fragrant, and rich. Each sip warms more than the stomach, it warms memory too. A local woman offers you a tale of the kitsune, fox spirit, said to live in the snowy forests nearby. She says, if you're lucky and quiet, you might see one beneath the moonlight, its tail flickering like a candle in the cold. And so we go to those silent forests where the snow lays thick upon every branch and the wind moves like a whispering ghost between the trunks. We do not speak here, we simply listen, and there, a flicker, a glint of gold eyes, a creature pausing beneath a cedar tree, watching, then gone. No need to chase it. Some magic is not meant to be caught, only witnessed. Let us end this part of our dream gently beneath a weighted kotatsu, a heated table with a thick blanket where legs are warmed and stories are shared. Outside, the snow continues to fall, soft and unhurried, like a lullaby for the land. Hokkaido is not just a place, it is a state of perfect stillness, a sanctuary for the soul. And now, as the snow settles in your chest and your breath grows slower still, we prepare to turn southward once more, to a place of volcanoes, ancient forests, and island spirit. Next stop, Kyushu, the cradle of fire and folklore. Ah, Kyushu, Japan's southern soul, a land where fire simmers beneath the soil and legends rise with the morning mist. This is where the gods are said to have first stepped onto Japanese earth, where mythology is not just told but felt, in the hot springs, in the sacred groves, in the shadows that stretch long in the afternoon sun. We arrive softly in Kumamoto, where the grand Kumamoto Castle stands, a fortress cloaked in black wood and quiet pride. Its rooftops rise like waves frozen in mid-crest, a samurai's poem made of stone. The city hums with gentle energy, but our path draws us into nature now, into the green heart of Kyushu. We venture into Aso-Kuju National Park, home to Mount Aso, one of the largest active volcanoes in the world. But tonight there is no eruption, only breath. The volcano slumbers, and so do we, cradled in its vast caldera, a landscape of rippling grasses and grazing cattle, lit only by the distant flicker of stars. You sit in the tall grass, watching clouds pass low across the mountain's wide shoulders. There is no fear here, only reverence, as if the land itself remembers a time when gods walked beside mortals. A soft wind rustles through the field. You feel it in your hair, like the touch of something ancient and kind. Let us now glide west to Nagasaki. This city, my dear dreamer, holds within it a deep ache and also a deep grace. It was here, in 1945, that a great sorrow descended. And yet, out of the ashes, rose a place of profound peace. We walk through Peace Park, past bronze statues that reach upward with open arms. Each one tells a story of hope, of healing, of the human spirit's quiet refusal to break. A bell chimes. You bow your head, not out of duty, but out of feeling. We wander next to Dejima, once an island of foreign trade where Dutch merchants brought the world to Japan's shores. Today, it stands still, a pocket of preserved history where East met West and changed the course of culture forever. The scent of curry and sandalwood drifts from a small house. You follow it and find yourself seated at a wooden table, tea steaming before you. Outside, the harbor glows. Within, your chest is calm. But Kyushu is not only fire and memory, it is lushness, wildness, magic unfiltered. Let us go now to Yakushima Island, a place so ancient, even time walks slowly. The ferry carries us through mists thick as dreams, until the island reveals itself like a shy spirit. Here, the forests are sacred. The trees, some over 7,000 years old, rise into the clouds, their roots twisting like sleeping dragons. But we are not yet done, for one more chapter remains. Let us journey one final time, dear dreamer, to the sun-drenched shores of the southern isles where time moves not in hours but in tides, and every breeze carries a lullaby. Welcome to Okinawa, the last sigh of Japan floating in the deep blue waters of the Pacific. Here, even the air feels softer, salt-kissed and lazy, like it's been napping in a hammock all day. The sea is a mirror of turquoise and silver, stretching to the horizon with a kind of gentle knowing. You arrive barefoot on the sand, your footprints vanishing as quickly as they are made. The sun dips low behind swaying palms, and we begin our final walk, slowly, slowly, letting each grain of warm sand welcome the weight of your tired thoughts. Okinawa is not just an island. It is a rhythm, a deep ancestral hum beneath the skin. This place lives longer and perhaps more wisely than the rest of the world. You may have heard of the blue zones, those rare pockets where people live well beyond 100. Okinawa is one, not because they chase youth, but because they embrace life like an old friend. With laughter, with slowness, with simplicity, we begin our dream stroll through Shirijo Castle, once the royal palace of the Ryukyu Kingdom. Its vermilion walls rise proudly, a blend of Japanese, Chinese, and Southeast Asian influence. Even now, though it has weathered fire and war, it stands quietly regal, unshaken. You run your fingers across the stone pathway, each slab holding stories of a kingdom that ruled through harmony, not conquest. From here we wander to the ocean cliffs of Cape Manzamo, where the rocks rise like an elephant's trunk and the sea breathes against them in perfect rhythm. You sit at the edge, not afraid, just aware of how vast everything is, of how small and peaceful we can be in its presence. The wind here speaks, not in words but in waves, and you listen with your entire being. Further south we go to the sleepy villages of Iriomote and Taketomi, islands so untouched it feels as though the 21st century politely knocked and was told to come back another day. Here, the roads are made of coral sand. Buffalo carts pull you through ancient streets, and red-tiled roofs hide under watchful stone Shisa lions, guardians of home and hearth. You pass a group of elders gathered in a circle, sharing awamori, the local rice spirit, singing an old folk song that doesn't need translation. Their laughter, their weathered hands, the sparkle in their eyes. They are the living soul of Okinawa. And what is a journey without food? Ah, yes, let's eat. Tonight it's a bowl of Goya shampuru, a stir-fry of bitter melon, tofu, and pork. Bitterness, the Okinawans say, is part of life, and to eat it is to honor the whole of one's experience. You sip from a small ceramic cup. The broth is humble but nourishing. And as you eat, the stars bloom overhead, one by one, like wild flowers in the sky. We move now to Kabira Bay on Ishigaki Island, perhaps the most serene waters in all of Japan. You lie on a glass-bottom boat, watching fish swim like brushstrokes across the sea floor. There is no rush here. Even the ocean moves slowly, deliberately. The boat captain hums an uta sanshin, a lullaby accompanied by a traditional three-stringed instrument. The sound is unlike anything else, melancholy, joyful, ancient. It wraps around you like a silk scarf, pulling you deeper into stillness. We end our journey on a quiet beach. The sky is velvet black now, and above you the Southern Cross twinkles faintly, a constellation rarely visible from mainland Japan. Its presence feels like a secret, a reward for those who made it this far. You dig your toes into the sand, still warm from the day's sun. The waves hush and hush and hush again. And now, dear dreamer, let us now drift upward beyond the noise and clamor of the waking world into a realm wrapped in clouds and serenity. You are ascending to Kōyasan, Mount Koya, a sacred plateau nestled in the folds of the Japanese mountains where time unravels and silence becomes your gentle guide. Your journey begins aboard a quaint mountain train, its carriages swaying softly as they climb higher through forested hills. Pine trees gather around the tracks like curious sentinels, and the air begins to thin, crisp, and quiet. You transfer to a small cable car, which glides silently through pockets of mist. Far below, the lowlands fall away, and before you appears a sanctuary among the clouds. Here lies Kōyasan, a spiritual haven founded over 12 centuries ago by the great monk Kobo Daishi. It is not merely a village, it is a living temple where monks still walk in silent devotion, where incense curls through the air, and where the forest itself feels sacred. As your feet touch the moss-laced stone paths, a hush settles over you, as though the very ground recognizes your presence. Wooden gates rise around you, aged by time and softened by wind. Temples appear like lanterns in a dream, each one resting in a quiet breath, surrounded by gardens, koi ponds, and still water. The path gently leads you toward the most sacred heart of the mountain, Okunoin, the whispering forest cemetery. You cross a small arched bridge said to purify all who pass over its stream. On the other side, the forest begins, not just of trees, but of souls. Towering cedar trees reach into the heavens, their branches laced with mist. Beneath them lie hundreds of thousands of gravestones, stone pagodas, and moss-covered monuments. More than 200,000 resting spirits from across centuries. The air here is not heavy with sorrow, but full of peace, as though the forest has taken each memory into its care. You walk slowly, reverently. The stone path winds deeper into the woods, flanked by flickering lanterns and gentle guardians. Statues of Jizo, protector of travelers and lost souls, greet you with serene faces. Tiny offerings rest at their feet. Dolls, coins, rice, and sips of tea. Bibs and knitted hats placed by grieving hands flutter softly in the breeze, and through it all, the forest whispers. The wind stirs the branches above, and you hear it, not quite a voice, but a feeling, a hush that speaks of stories forgotten and prayers remembered. You pause often, not from weariness, but awe. The world around you feels hushed and eternal, as though even your thoughts must tread softly here. At the very heart of the forest stands the Torodo Hall, the Hall of Lanterns. You step inside, where thousands upon thousands of golden lanterns glow in reverent silence. Some have been alight for centuries, tended without fail by generations of monks. The room glows like the inside of a dream, warm, timeless, sacred. Beyond this hall lies the mausoleum of Kobo Daishi, said to still meditate in eternal rest. Believers say he has never died, but entered a deep and perfect trance, waiting patiently for the Buddha's return. As you stand there, surrounded by silence and the warmth of lantern light, you cannot help but feel something ancient watching over the world. When you leave the forest path, twilight has fallen. The trees seem to bow gently in farewell. A short walk takes you to your lodging for the night. A shukubo, a temple inn, where monks welcome you with soft smiles and steaming cups of roasted barley tea. Inside your room, the air is sweet with cedar and tatami straw. A paper lantern casts golden circles on the wall. Your bedding is simple, a futon atop woven mats, yet it invites the deepest of sleep. As you lie down, rain begins to fall, just lightly, a silver drizzle that taps gently on the wooden roof, like a lullaby played by the sky. Somewhere in the distance, a temple bell chimes, long and low. The sound stretches across the mountaintop, fading slowly into the forest. You listen, your breath slow, your mind adrift, and as your eyes begin to close, a dream begins to bloom. You walk again through Okunoin, but now the lanterns float mid-air, bobbing like fireflies. The gravestones shimmer with a gentle glow. Mist swirls softly through the trees. The path ahead seems endless, but in a way that feels comforting, like eternity itself is unfolding just for you. Beneath the tallest cedar tree, you glimpse a figure seated in quiet meditation. Cloaked in twilight and memory, he turns toward you with a look of infinite calm. He does not speak, but you understand. He has seen you, known you, expected you. No more steps are needed now, only rest. The rain becomes a whisper. The lanterns fade to warm embers, and your thoughts drift downward into the softest sleep. So sleep, dear traveler, beneath the watchful cedars. Let the sacred stillness of Kōyasan hold you in its arms. You are safe here. You are part of the silence. And in the morning, should you rise again, the forest will still be there, waiting, whispering, remembering. And so, my fellow wanderer, our voyage comes to its close. From Kyoto's temples to Tokyo's neon lullabies, from Hokkaido's snows to Kyushu's spirit-swirled forests, and now to Okinawa's warm ocean breath. Let these final moments be free of thought, free of story, only breath, only rest. We have traveled not just through Japan, but through stillness itself. Sleep now, not as an end, but as the softest continuation. I, Professor Dozesworth, thank you for joining me once more. You, who listen with your heart and dream with your eyes open. Until we meet again in another land, in another dream. Oyasuminasai. Good night.